Mayday, Mayday. This is November 342. I'm not on board. Repeat, I'm not on board.
The radio transmission crackled through air traffic control like a ghostly whisper. The voice was unmistakably Pilot James Kettle's, calm, professional, but saying words that made no sense. Because at that very moment, Flight NZ042 was 28,000 feet over the Pacific Ocean, with no possible way for anyone to leave the aircraft. Yet James insisted he wasn't on the plane. What happened next would become one of aviation's most chilling, unsolved mysteries. June 17, 2006 began as a completely routine day at Wellington International Airport. The morning weather was perfect. Clear skies, excellent visibility. James Kettle, a 34-year-old cargo pilot with 12 years of experience, performed his standard pre-flight checks on the twin-engine turboprop. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary as the plane taxied down the runway and lifted smoothly into the morning sky. For the first 47 minutes of the flight, everything proceeded normally. James checked in with air traffic control at scheduled intervals. His voice betrayed no stress, no concern. Then, at 9:10 a.m., controllers received that bizarre transmission. At first, they assumed it was radio static or a prank. But when they tried to contact the plane again, there was no response. 90 minutes after the strange Mayday call, Flight NZ042 disappeared from radar screens entirely. Search and rescue teams scrambled to the last known coordinates. What they found only deepened the mystery. The wreckage was discovered nearly 200 miles off its planned flight path. The plane had crashed into the ocean with such force that little remained intact. Yet when divers recovered the black box, both the flight data recorder and cockpit voice recorder, they discovered something impossible. The voice recordings confirmed it was definitely James who made that final radio call, but the cockpit microphones picked up no other sounds, no movement, no breathing, just eerie silence. Even stranger, the flight data showed the autopilot had been engaged continuously for nearly 52 hours before the crash. This made no sense. The plane didn't have enough fuel to stay aloft that long. Even more baffling, security footage from a gas station 70 miles from the airport clearly showed James filling up his car and buying coffee 3 days before the crash. He appeared completely normal, smiling, chatting with the clerk. Investigators were left with unanswerable questions. How could James have piloted a plane 3 days after he was last seen on the ground? Why did the black box show the plane flying continuously when that was physically impossible? Who or what made that final radio transmission if James wasn't actually in the cockpit? The official investigation quietly closed the case as pilot error, but the details they couldn't explain were far more disturbing. Divers found the emergency exit hatch had been opened from inside the plane before impact. 12 minutes of black box recordings were mysteriously erased. Local fishermen reported seeing strange lights in the area that night. Most haunting of all, James Kettle's flight manual was recovered nearly 300 miles from the crash site, completely dry, as if carefully placed there. His body and parachute were never found. To this day, no one can explain what truly happened to Flight NZ042. Was it a government experiment gone wrong? A paranormal event? Or something beyond our understanding? The only certainty is this. Somewhere over the Pacific, a plane kept flying with no pilot, and a man vanished before his own crash.